with his thoughts on this past year's training, here are Brigadier General Harvey Haakenson and his wife Lonnie.
The North Dakota Army National Guard has just completed a very successful training year. We have a lot of activity, a lot of overseas deployments, a lot of training in our home state to include Camp Grafton and community projects which helped a lot of people and a lot of communities. We had no major accidents, people came home safe. But with all these activities, it takes a lot of planning, a lot of time to have a good execution. All those times that are required on prior leaving and evenings and weekends before all take time away from home. And we know that behind all of these soldiers, we have families. And those families are giving up during all those times. Our families in North Dakota have been absolutely great. They've supported our soldiers to the nth degree. We appreciate them. And it isn't only when we're going overseas or when we're going to Camp Grafton. It's every drill, every meeting, in fact, it's every day. And the people we have here are truly North Dakota folks. They have the spirit, and we just appreciate everything they do for every day they help us.
Harvey and I just returned from the national conference down in Dallas, Texas. And the enthusiasm down there and the exciting things going on with the Family Support Program will be coming back to our state through our volunteers. And our volunteers are out there helping families, and sometimes it's just that pat on the back, just saying, I'm here, I will listen to you, I will help you. Or sometimes it's just doing some fun things as a family group. And we'd like to take this time to thank all of our volunteers across the entire state of North Dakota for all the hours that they put in, and tell them what wonderful, wonderful job that they are doing. Thank you.
The Family Support Group of North Dakota has extensive contacts and is well received in units in the state. The Family Support Groups sponsored a number of events to help keep morale up for the soldiers and their loved ones. Captain Jackie Huber will now tell us more about how the progress is going.
There are over 4,000 members in the North Dakota National Guard, and all have families. In the past, there may have been a mystery surrounding what goes on during a drill weekend, an annual training, or an overseas deployment. However, thanks to the North Dakota National Guard Family Support Group, myth is turning to awareness. It is imperative in this day and age that family members support the soldiers and airmen and understand what they are going through. In the final analysis, this awareness reduces stress and improves family morale. Of course, all of this would not be possible without the family support volunteers.
The future is again a combined involvement with the commander and the unit and the soldier and the family. With those together, the commander is able to have a better retention standard with the military members. His standards will be able to be maintained. He will not have to have as many recruits because families are supporting the National Guard because they're able to work together with their volunteer programs and also having a positive impact in their family life and working together with the National Guard.
Their goal is to create a contagious positive impact to keep the statewide program exciting. One wife who has been with the program for 9 years explains the importance of family support.
Through family support, we're hoping to educate other spouses and significant others as to why we need these guys and gals out there helping our country and supporting them.
This is one program in which every spouse or significant other of a National Guards person can get involved.
1st Battalion of the 188th Air Defense Artillery was one of the units involved in Iron Man. Specialist Billie Lorius was there and has this story.
While soldiers of the 1st Battalion of the 188th Air Defense Artillery were in the field, they trained hard for their wartime mission. But soldiers took time to visit with their families during Family Day hosted by the unit at Camp Grafton South. This Family Day was beneficial for the soldiers and their family members because it allowed the soldiers to show the families how they live and train in the field. This event also helped soldiers and families feel somewhat better about being a part. Mark Bjornseth, husband of Sergeant First Class Doris Bjornseth, says he doesn't mind her being in the Guard.
I don't mind at all her being in the Guard. she isn't really gone that much. It's just 2 weeks out of the year is all it is. So it's not that big a deal. I just have to play chauffeur with the kids a little bit.
The Bjornset's daughter also says that she doesn't mind her mom being gone for training.
It's not that bad because she's not gone that much.
Other family members said that they like the fact that their loved ones are in the Guard. Specialist Jonathan Hildemeyer said his grandfather and father are proud that he is in the Guard.
Grandfather was in the Army during World War II. My dad was in during Vietnam. And they like the fact that I'm in.
Sergeant First Class Rodney Cody said his family is very supportive of his National Guard commitment.
Right now they're really supportive, but in the same fashion, they miss you a lot when you're gone, type thing.
The ADA's Family Day at Camp Grafton South was very well attended, and the soldiers and their relatives all enjoyed their time together.
The Air Guard side of the state has been very busy with training this year. To tell us more about what the Happy Hooligans have been doing is Tech Sergeant David Somdahl.
The Go Fast crowd earned several national honors this year. Hooligans were the first to fly more tthan 40,000 hours in F-16 aircraft, all without an aircraft crash or accident. This 9-year accomplishment drew special honors from both the Lockheed Martin Corporation and the Pratt & Whitney Company. For the 6th time in 7 years, the 119th Fighter Wing garnered the Air Force Outstanding Unit Award. January 9 brought change at the top, with Colonel Lyle Onvig becoming commander of the 119th. It also brought the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Reserve Affairs, Charles Cragen, to Fargo.
As attested by its many awards and decorations, the unit is an extraordinary one.
Former Commander Mike Haugen made his last flight in April prior to being pinned on as a Brigadier General. Hooligans were the last U.S. Air Force unit to operate from Howard Air Base, Panama, for the counter-narcotics mission Coronet Nighthawk. Hooligans moved the operation to the island of Curacao off the coast of Venezuela. We close out 99 thinking about our past. This massive wooden hangar was damaged beyond repair in a July 4th windstorm. It was here before there was an Air Guard. Soon it will be just a memory.
The 112th Aviation Battalion suffered some downtime this year due to a problem with their Hueys. Their Hueys were clear to fly, and fly they did in annual training. Captain Baker has details on the story.
This is a familiar sound to any soldier in the field. An UH-1 November Iroquois, better known as the Huey, is approaching. This was good news for National Guard troops training during Annual Training 99. The Hueys were back in commission for the first time since an accident in Alabama had grounded the entire fleet. The 1st Battalion of the 112th Aviation, a light utility helicopter unit, is now back using the Huey for numerous missions, including sling loading, troop transport, and providing targets for the 188th Air Defense Artillery Battery. This is good news for the 1st to the 112th because now they can continue their missions.
Construction began in March on a new armory for the 112th Aviation Battalion. This complex will house headquarters and headquarters company and Alpha Company. This $6 million project is expected to be complete by fall of 2001.
This past year, the Guard added a new unit, the 81st Military Support Detachment, or Rapid Assessment and Initial Detection. RAID is a unit designed to respond to situations involving terrorist usage of weapons of mass destruction.
Our mission will be to assist federal, state, and local authorities in assessing the impacts of a weapons of mass destruction terrorist event, not only here in North Dakota, but also anywhere within the United States. We'll provide NBC reconnaissance, detection capability, and also facilitate the arrival of follow-on state and federal forces to assist local responders.
The 142nd, which is part of the HHD Engineer Brigade, had a very busy training year. The 142nd participated in community projects and improved a road at Camp Grafton South.
What we're doing right now is coming off of Highway 15, and we're going to meet up with the cattle guard that we placed about a half mile from this point where we're standing. And then eventually we'll continue the road from this point all the way up to where they've come out on the North Access Road, where the RTI has made their 62 Echo Road, built that up to bring heavier equipment into that point. So what this will do for the RTI, for the 164, for any unit that's using Camp Grafton South, it's a great surface, a good surface road where you can haul in heavier equipment so you're not sinking in the mud and falling off the road and those type of things.
The 142nd also made a trip overseas to Korea to do projects for the Army by putting together pre-engineered Butler buildings, 6 range towers, and constructing a biohazard containment area. They also removed 10 underground fuel tanks that were leaking fuel.
In addition to the frontline battalions being busy, there is always a lot of activity in the 2 units of the state. The Regional Training Institute and the Recruiting and Retention Branch had a very successful training year. And Specialist Jessica Brokaw sat down and visited with their commanders and reported on their activities.
It's been a very successful year for the Regional Training Institute and the Recruiting and Retention Office. Both units received honors that show the excellence that they strive to achieve. This year, the Recruiting Office has met its goal to maintain the strength of the National Guard. The unit also won the Lewis and Clark Challenge. Lewis and Clark is a competition of 8 states in the Midwest to see who can bring the most recruits and the highest quality people into their respective states. Recruiting and Retention Manager, Major Mitch Barta, said the staff did an excellent job in recruiting.
And it's been a good year. The quality of our programs and our people have been a real benefit to selling the program to those interested across the state.
The Regional Training Institute was also recognized for its work this year. It received accreditation from the Army. Command Sergeant Major Lyle Brend told us how the process for accreditation works and what this means for the National Guard and the state.
Well, the accreditation itself is broken into 2 portions. One of them is training support, and that's where they go through and they check all the records, student records, and after they get done with that, then they go into the execution of training, or the conduct of training. And that's when they go out and see that we're following all the rules and regulations, or the POI, the Program of Instruction, for each of the courses, of the 24 courses we teach here.
Congratulations to both units and keep up the good work.
In addition to all the units being at the Operation Iron Man, the 136th Quartermaster Battalion deployed some of their companies to the Dominican Republic and Honduras. The units involved provided water to the victims of Hurricane Andrew and Georges in those countries. The operation gave the soldiers excellent real-world training, and their efforts were highly appreciated by the citizens of those countries.
The brigade also sent the 141 Engineer Battalion to Hohenfels, Germany to renovate buildings, make repairs to and construct new tank pads, install culverts, and perform other engineer duties. The unit had 4 2-week rotations go over in 60-man teams beginning on July 3rd and ending on August 28th.
Hi, my name is Ryan Kurtz. Operation Iron Man was conducted this summer by the 68th Troop Command. Almost all of the units in this command participated in the Iron Man exercise in June of this year, and they were kept busy. Specialist Jonathan Haugen was at the exercise and has a repeat report on the activities.
Operation Iron Man kicked off in the middle of June with a bang, and the 68th Troop Command began leading its troops into battle for annual training in '99. Units in the command either performed operations as they would in wartime or acted as an infantry unit. Part of the training for Operation Iron Man was to train the units up on how to react to a nuclear, biological, or chemical attack. The 136th Quartermaster Battalion set up a unit decontamination site to end out the operation.
Like the rest of the state, the brigade stayed active with new training. The brigade deployed to Camp Ripley, Minnesota for annual training with the 164th Mechanized Engineer Battalion and the 957th Engineer Company.
Another unit that is part of the Engineer Brigade, the 188th Army Band, has had a very active year with recording a compact disc. Due out in training year 2000 and a deployment to Madison, Wisconsin. Sergeant First Class Rob Keller went with the band on their trip and has more.
Annual Training 99 took the band in July to Madison, Wisconsin to help the University of Wisconsin Music Department host a band conducting art workshop. Their mission? Provide the aspiring conductors a band to practice on. Sergeant Craig Brenden took part in this training and found it very valuable.
Conducting is something like nobody else really knows. There isn't any written book about exactly how to do conducting. There is a manual to take apart an M16 and put together, which we all know as soldiers, but the form of conducting that we have, the art of conducting, is somebody's idea and concept of what should be to convey a musical idea.
In addition to gaining new ideas to work on, the 188th came away with a renewed sense of mission. Many of the members of the 188th Army Band are directly involved in teaching music at the public school level or have bands of their own. This training benefited everyone.
Here in the United States, the 164 Engineer Battalion had Company B go to the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California. The unit deployed 118 soldiers to Fort Irwin from March 6 to March 18.
Hi, my name is Connor Griffin. Finally, to put a wrap on the year's look back at training year 1999, here's the state's
Adjutant,
General Major, General Keith Bierke.
Another outstanding year for the North Dakota National Guard. 1999, the last year in this millennium. As we go forward and reflect on what's happened in the past, I just couldn't be happier to be a member of this outstanding organization. You know, 100 years ago this year, during the Philippine insurrection, our National Guard, for its first mobilization, was awarded 10 Congressional Medals of Honor. And we've celebrated that fact all year of 1999. But as we look at this year, and we want to celebrate the victories of 1999, we need to think about our families and our employers and the members of the North Dakota National Guard that have made it all possible. If I was going to be giving awards today for those outstanding performers, just like those soldiers that celebrated 100 years ago the victory of the Philippines, I would be looking at our employers and our family support as the major victors. We've done a wonderful job in our state of incorporating their interest and their activities into the mobilization and support of the total National Guard. Our training has been superb, both in North Dakota, around the nation, and around the world. People have made a real difference, and the reason that they can go and make this difference is the support that they've had at home. Thank you very much for an outstanding year, great support to the future, and as we look to the next millennium, North Dakota will continue to lead the nation as a National Guard.
Year 2000 and a deployment, the Madison, Wisconsin Specialist Jonathan. Here is the state's Adjutant, General Major General Keith Bierke. Had Company B go to the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California.
Here's the state
Adjutant,
General Major
General
Keith Bierke.
Bierke. Okay.
The 81st Military Support Detachment, or Rapid Assessment and Initial Detection RAID, is